Hi. Good afternoon. My name is Lauro Soto. I'm from Laredo, Texas, and I'm currently majoring in mechanical engineering here in Texas A&M at Kingsville. Some of my future aspirations so far to may want to finish college with a bachelor's in engineering, mechanical engineering, and this is going to be my presentation on my recommendation report titled "Choosing the Best Laptop for You." The reason I chose this as my topic was because ever since COVID-19 happened, the pandemic, everything shifted to online and remote work. Schools went online, so all the students were required to have laptops in order to gain access to their assignments and still able to join lectures, all while being safe. And then organizations and companies also shifted to remote work, meaning their employees required laptops to gain access to work-related tools, data, and software from their homes. And then apart from those two, laptops were also important for people to stay in touch with their families and their loved ones. You know, they couldn't be close to each other because of COVID, so they were able to keep in touch through video calls and online chats, and that's how laptops were playing an important role. And another thing was for entertainment purposes. Some people, since they have to stay indoors for their safety, a lot of people move to laptops as their main entertainment, but for Netflix, watching TV shows, and even playing video games. So that's the main reason why I chose this topic, and this presentation is going to be about me going over the features, the main features the main features you look into for a laptop in case you're continuing on getting one. So we're going to go over some of the main features. That way you have enough information to make your own purchase in case you don't know how. And some recommended options will be provided at the end as well if you don't want to look for you're not looking for anything specific. Alright, so the first feature I'm going to go over is the core processor, or also known as the central processing unit, the CPU. And the core processor is like the brain of the computer. It does all the thinking and the decision making. A core is made up of small units called cores, which all work together to process information. Each one handles a separate task, allowing or depending on how many cores you have, it allows the processor to multitask and perform zero tasks at the same time, making your device even more efficient. So the way it works is the core processor receives the instructions from the computer software, it processes those instructions, and then it sends the results back to the software. So as mentioned before, the core processor is made out of small units called cores, and depending on how many of those you have, that determines how fast and efficient your laptop will be when it comes to running multiple applications, or other applications. So there's two main categories or two main types. There's a single core and there's a multi-core. The single core refers to a CPU or core processor that only has one unit, one core, which means it's only able to run one application at a time, which therefore makes your laptop pretty slow if you try to run more than one application. So that's more common in the basic laptops, the budget safe laptops. Now the other type, the multi-core processing, refers to a CPU with multiple cores, more than one, and is the main common ones are known as the dual core, quad core, and octa-core. So the way it works is basically the more cores your CPU has, the more tasks it can work on simultaneously, leading to better performance and faster processing speeds. So, but you gotta keep in mind that the more cores you have, more expensive it's gonna be too. So that's the first feature. Alright, the next feature I'm going to go over is the RAM, or the random access memory. The RAM is a type of computer memory that is used to store and access temporary data. So the way it works is the RAM provides fast access to this data, which allows the CPU or the core processor to quickly retrieve and process it, making the computer run faster and more efficiently. So, in other words, whenever you open a program or a file on your computer, that data is loaded into the RAM, and then the core processor accesses it and is able to perform the calculations and operations needed to do what you're trying to do. So, and the RAM is also a volatile memory, meaning whenever you turn off the computer or the power supply to it, all that data, this temporary data, is lost. So, and so the amount of memory or data that you're able to store into the RAM is measured in gigabytes. And essentially, the more you have of that, the more gigabytes you have, the more you can store and access quickly, which overall improves the system performance of your device. So the RAM capacity, as I mentioned earlier, it is measured in gigabytes, and the more it has, the more data your laptop can store, which will improve the performance to your device. So now the amount of RAM you need depends on how many applications and programs you're planning on running. So if you're using it for normal just web browsing and basic usage, 4 gigabytes is enough. If you're planning on doing multitasking applications and maybe some gaming, 8 gigabytes would be best. And if you're planning on doing any gaming or like light video editing, 16 gigabytes and higher would be recommended. Just know that the more just like the core processor, the more RAM you have, the more expensive it's going to be. And if you need a quick reference, there's a picture there on what each one will help you with mainly. Alright, the next feature I'm going over is the storage and the storage capacity. So the storage is where data is permanently stored, unlike the RAM. This one is to store data that you're going to use for long-term use. So the way it works, whenever you save a file, it ends being stored on your laptop's internal hard drive permanently, and it can be accessed by you whenever and wherever you want. And then you don't have to worry about losing it even when your computer is off. Now, the storage capacity of a laptop refers to the amount of data and files of documents, photos, music, or videos that you can store in that internal hard drive. And it is also measured in gigabytes. So essentially, the larger your storage capacity, the more stuff you can store into your device for long-term use. And the common capacities found in laptops can range from 128 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes for budget laptops, and then 512 gigabytes in mid-range laptops, and around 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes of storage in the high-end laptops. So cost is the last important factor that should be looked into when deciding on a laptop. So depending on your budget, finding the right laptop with your required needs can be quite a challenge since it can affect the build quality, features, and overall performance. You don't want to end up with a cheap laptop that can't handle running multiple applications at once, but then you don't want to end up with an expensive laptop when you're just using it for basic tasks. So the cost of your laptop should be balanced with your needs and requirements and your intended use. So if you intend on using your laptop for basic tasks, a laptop ranging from $200 to $500 would be recommended. If you intend on using it for tasks like light gaming, photo and video editing, a laptop ranging from $500 to $1,000 would be best. And now if you intend on using your laptop for intense gaming and video editing, 3D rendering, a laptop ranging from $1,000 to $2,000 would be recommended. But besides its intended use, their laptop price would also depend on the features that you want, or the ones that you require. So if you want a fast processing laptop with about 8 cores in your core processor, that'll increase the price on your laptop. Now, if you also want bigger storage, that's also going to increase the price of your laptop. So it's important to keep note on that, on what your required needs are. So going off the research done for all these factors and features from online resources and my own researching, I found 3 laptops that I would recommend from 3 different price ranges, and each of them are listed with varying features and a brief description that I recommend if you're not looking for anything in specific. All right, the first laptop I recommend, the first laptop in the budget safe laptop range would be the Lenovo Chromebook Duet 3. Now this laptop is probably one of the best performing laptops, costing at around $379, which manages to deliver good performance, graphics, and decent storage. This laptop excels as a work and school device, and it is perfect for carrying around since it has a lightweight design. And in the specifications listed, the core processor is a Snapdragon 7C G2, which is an octa-core processor, and you'll find the core processors listed in whatever website you use to find the laptop, like Best Buy, and you just gotta look in the specifications for that. Now the RAM it has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is good for work and school assignments. It has 128 gigabyte storage, and it has a decent screen size and dimensions. Alright, the next laptop in the mid-range price range is the Dell XPS 13. Now this laptop ranges from $749 to basically $1,000, and this is a great laptop if you're looking for one in the mid-range budget. With 8 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage, this laptop can handle basic tasks and multiple tasks at once, like photo and video editing, and even light gaming. It also has great screen resolution and graphics, and has a long battery life, with a slim and lightweight design, making it perfect to travel with. As listed in the specifications, the CPU is the Intel Core i5, and that is a deca-core processor, meaning it has 10 cores, and it makes the laptop really fast and efficient. The last laptop I recommend for a high-end budget one is the Razer Blade 14. Ranging from $1,800 to up to $3,000, the Razer Blade 14 is an excellent option for a high-end budget range laptop. This laptop is a high-performing gaming laptop with both a powerful and portable design. It has great display with a high refresh rate for smooth and fluid gameplay. It has a decent battery, and it has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage, which means it can run the most demanding tasks, and it makes it perfect for serious gamers, professional use, and even for everyday use.